Hello and welcome back to my channel. I am Christy Vann with Fantastic Finances, and on this channel I usually talk about velocity banking. Today I am with a lady that had a very emotional start to her financial strategy. We had to talk a little bit about what was going on, what her finances looked like, and I personally could not do anything with a strategy for her because of lines of credit, stuff like that, that we needed to get, that the credit scores were pretty low. So we had to go with other options. And that option for her was the automated software. To me, it is an option when there are no other options, such as if you have a negative cash flow due to you cannot get into a line of credit, to help us flip some of your monthly payments into cash flow so that you can gain a little bit of cash flow, which means that you're going to be able to start working down your debt. This lady was also in that situation. If you have a low credit score, or if you are not able to obtain a line of credit, or maybe you don't want to obtain a line of credit, you can go with the automated system as well. Maybe you have multiple properties. You can go with that system as well. So just wanted to give a little testimonial here as to how her situation turned out from absolutely no hope into now she sees the light at the end of the tunnel. Welcome to the channel.
Good morning. Thank you for having me. I'm super honored and blessed.
You were in a situation that you just could not figure a way out. Tell me a little bit about putting your finances actually into the software. What did it do for your numbers?
Well, it was absolutely wonderful. Everybody has been very kind. It definitely, like you always advocate, it definitely helps to have all your numbers together. I have over 60, close to $70,000 in credit card debt, which includes personal loans in the past that I took out to consolidate credit cards. This is all a result of a contentious divorce that's been going on for 2 years. So it's not shopping. It's not anything like that. The divorce was a family fallout that included him not wishing to support our only daughter as well. So I'm supporting myself, my daughter. She's off to college now. But as a result, you know, the finances piled up to where I am today. Like you said, I felt like I had no hope before I met you and your wonderful team. But thanks to your videos and what you always advocate about, know how much you owe, know how much you make, because then that's a great starting point to where you need to go. So we put all of that into the system. I had it ready for her. And the system is amazing. It's really like magic. It tells you, it has wonderful projections about, you know, before I met with them, I didn't think I could ever get out of this debt unless I won the lottery or did something incredibly substantial. I don't know what I was going to do, but the plan that they come up with, the way that the system projects, she actually said within 2.5 to 3 years, I could be debt free.
Wow.
And that's such a huge, because she said, how old would you like to be when you're debt free? I said, well, I'm hoping by 50. I'm 44 as of today. And then she pops up the projection. Oh, I thank you. And she, thank you. And she pops up this projection screen on the portal, and it says, no, 2.3 years, to 2.2 years or 3 at the most, you'll be debt free. And that was just such a beautiful thing. The system's very easy to work with. It's very comprehensive. I say that because I do have an administrative background. So maybe, you know, I know there are people that don't have an administrative background, but I think even if you don't, it's a very comprehensive, easy to work with portal. So
information. Wow.
Yes, I breathe with a huge sigh of relief and so much hope, and I'm ready to work. It's like you've also said on your videos, you know, God doesn't like lazy. So we need to do the work, right? He gives us the tools, and this is what I consider this. This is a wonderful tool that he has given me. Now I have to roll up my sleeves, put in the work, commit to it, and I know that it's gonna work.
That is awesome, because I know you were so distraught in the first meeting that we had. I relate to you. I think that's why I wanted you to come back on and tell me, you know, how it went for you, because in my first divorce, it was, uh, I don't even like going back there to feel what
Mm-hmm.
was going on.
Right.
So that's why I took all of the debt. I took my children. I didn't ask for any support. It was like I
Mm-hmm.
just wanted away from him, and
Mm-hmm.
whatever it took to get there was what I was going to
Mm-hmm.
do.
Yeah.
And like you said, I didn't have the automated system at the time, did not know about that, didn't even know about velocity banking. I
Oh.
was literally looking into other options for work. So I took
Mm-hmm.
on a mortgage license, believe it or not, where I was actually doing the mortgage stuff. I feel bad about that now, but I did that. That took a funny story. I got my insurance license, so I was working insurance and I was working a full time office position. So
Mm-hmm.
I really just decided, okay, I'm going to make this happen. And, you know, I started studying for my CWI soon after that. But
Mm-hmm.
it didn't matter how much money I made, I was still
Mm-hmm.
broke. It was
Yeah.
amazing.
Right.
The system, you don't have to guess. It literally lays it out for you. It
It
tells you what
does.
payments you're going to make on what date and what amount. I
Mm-hmm.
just think that it's crazy awesome. And
It is.
I was speaking to the creators of that software yesterday, and they're
Really.
two amazing guys. And you know, I don't even know if they knew what they were creating when they created it, because
Yeah.
they too had come out of a childhood of repossessed home, and they just
Hmm.
wanted to stop people's pain, basically. You
Hmm.
know,
Hmm.
let's get out of this payment system that they've put us into. So
Right.
tell me a little bit about your interest savings. Do you remember what they said you were going to be saving over that 2.5 years?
I know I was going to get to keep, and I kept hearing your voice, keep my wealth.
Yeah.
I know that I was going to get to keep $145,000
Wow.
that over the next 3 years that I would have otherwise have to have paid in interest if
Right.
I'm not using the the system. So $70,000 in debt now looks like $145,000 down the pipe of interest
Right.
because it just keeps
Right.
piling and piling and piling. So I do
Hmm.
remember that. That was a very shocking figure to
Yeah.
see.
Right.
And it's very exciting to see that a system that it really is simple. Just plug in the data and follow the prompts, and that's it. It's
That is
amazing.
awesome. That is.
Hmm.
It is amazing. So tell me, did you tell your daughter?
She has no idea, well, how deep her mama is. She just
Oh.
knows she has one available parent. She doesn't know, but
Oh.
I think she has an idea. She feels guilty, like we'll go shopping and it's just for her. And she goes, well,
Uh-huh.
Mom, why don't you get something? I'm like, yeah, not now. I'm working on my figure. But
That is what
kids are way smarter than we are.
that is what a good mama does, though. I swear. I just remember the same things. There was a point I've told people on the channel before that we didn't even have a Christmas. I mean, we
Mm-hmm.
had like Dollar Tree items is
Mm-hmm.
all I could do for them. And they knew something was wrong
Mm-hmm.
because, you know, we hadn't had that crazy of a Christmas before. But after you step out of a situation and you're kind of on your own, you're trying to
Mm-hmm.
figure out, you know, okay, what am I going to do here and still keep the kids as happy as possible? When you're
Mm-hmm.
so broke that you can't buy diapers for your kids, that's pretty ridiculous, right?
That is bad. Yeah, that is bad. Yeah,
Yeah,
she doesn't know. I do plan on telling her. I also don't tell her because I don't want her to worry and I want her to
right,
focus on her studies 100%.
right.
I said to her, you let me worry about how to get you to school, and your job is just to put in the work. That's it. Um, so
That's awesome.
at some point I will, probably when she comes home from for summer break, we'll talk, and I'll let her know that that's the other wonderful thing about the system is lifetime access, right? Which makes
Right,
me super excited because when she graduates and the loans hit me, because they're under my name, they're not under hers. I didn't want her to worry about it either. When the loans hit me after she graduates, I'm going to use the system to pay it off.
Right.
So I'm
It
looking
is.
forward to that. The fact that the system is lifetime access is amazing too.
In free upgrades, free coaching. I think that's what's amazing is
Yes.
I don't know how they make any money because the program is not expensive. And then when
No.
you figure out how much you're saving in interest, oh my gosh, even
Mhm.
in your first 2 weeks, I had a couple call me, I think it was a couple of weeks ago now, and they moved into the system and they were concerned about the charge because it does run about the pricing of a first lien HELOC, maybe it may even run a house payment or two, whatever it is
Yeah.
your debt brings, because you never know what the cost is going to be until they run your actual numbers.
Right.
But they called me and they said that they had done the system for 2 weeks, and that they had already saved what they spent in
You're
the cost.
kidding.
No, actually, they had saved
Wow.
double of what they had in the cost. So their savings was right around $7,500 in
That's
interest.
amazing. That's
So they
amazing.
were so excited, to move forward.
Yeah.
The only complaint that I have gotten is what you mentioned before is somebody that's not worked with a computer a lot, like my age.
Hmm.
It does come a little bit harder because we weren't raised in the computer generation.
Right.
So, but besides that, I haven't heard anything but good. I worked with a
Hmm.
couple yesterday that have the program. They're going to be out of debt, I think, because they had like almost $1 million in debt and their income was
Whoa.
like $8,600 a month. So they had like a 15-year payoff on a new home they just bought. Now they just bought it. So that was 30 years brought down to 15, not just the home,
Wow.
but all of their debt.
That's
Because the home was
amazing.
like $560,000. Then
Hmm.
the rest of the debt took them up to almost a million. And
Well,
you're like, there's no way $8,600 a month is going to ever get them out of debt. They should have like a 50-year payoff or something.
yeah.
But when they entered the numbers, it came
Hmm.
down to 15 years.
That's
Well,
amazing.
I know. And so I worked with them yesterday and I said, how's the software working for you? And they're like, well, I don't use it. And I'm like, what? And she was like, yeah, I just don't have, I just haven't made it a priority. That's what she said.
Yeah.
And I said,
Okay.
is your priority to retire one day? I mean,
Get out of the
because
debt.
every day you put off using the software and what it's telling you to do, you are pushing all of that debt up, and you could
Hmm.
be paying it off right now, day by day.
It starts
And
piling up.
yeah, so I just had a conversation with her about, hey, I know. She said that she is like an octopus. She had hands everywhere and everything. And I said, I know,
Hmm.
but your future depends on using the software. Follow what
Hmm.
it says. And it's that simple. It tells you what to do. You just
It
have
does.
to take
You
the
just have to
initiative.
play with it. Yeah. You just really have to play with it. Like for people that are as administrative, because there are people that are just not into administrative stuff. But just take it slow, play with it. I don't know, nothing overwhelming. Play with it 10 minutes a day, 15 minutes a
Yeah.
day. And
Yeah.
pretty soon, before you know it, you'll know what everything does because it really
Right.
is comprehensive. My
That
mom
is
comes from a background where she doesn't, I think she has a sixth grade education. So, I know that she could figure out how to punch in the numbers and what to click on and just let it do its thing. It's amazing.
right. Well, what's amazing is the person you are today compared to when we did
Mm.
our first interview, I think about 2 weeks ago. You literally
Yeah.
have a completely different demeanor. Uh,
I
without,
couldn't even breathe.
yeah, I've been where you are. I know that
Yeah.
feeling.
Hmm.
I have to take a deep breath when I say that because I don't like
Yeah.
those rushing back to remind me. But
All
at the same
right.
time, that's what kind of keeps my feet on the ground with the way I
Mm-hmm.
deal with people is to
Mm-hmm.
remember that I've been there, done that. I know what those feelings are. And that is my, what is it? Not my goal. It's my life's passion is to
Mm-hmm.
get that feeling away from people.
Yeah,
And
and you sure do.
although the velocity banking strategies were not going to work for you today, the automated system has come in and filled that gap. And I could not
Yes.
be any more grateful that it was available
Mm-hmm.
to help you. So I just appreciate you so much, first of all, for coming on here and telling us a little bit about it.
Thank
But I
you.
know you're still in the contentious divorce, so that's not gone away, right?
No, we may be headed to trial. So having this, and that's where all my anxiety the last time we spoke was coming from, is you're just so vulnerable when you have that amount of debt. Because if you think, some happens, silly thing happened to me last summer. I was watering my garden and I tripped on the hose and landed flat on my elbow and broke my arm.
Oh my God.
The
Wow.
silliest thing. It cost me $1,500. I'm still paying off. That was my copay. Thank God I have insurance because of my job. But things like that can happen. And when you're that vulnerable with your debt and you don't have a little padding, it's really scary. And those are the anxiety attacks that you get because you're like, what happens if this happens to me? What do I do? What do I do if something happens? Because you never know with life. But it's given me such hope that, like you said, in a very little bit of amount of time of just following it, you get your money back and you start not paying the interest. Just not paying the interest would be so wonderful to say to all these, banks, forget you, I'm not paying you $145,000 of interest.
Right.
So it's just amazing.
The hardest part to teach people is they don't understand that, like the couple yesterday, they had a $3,800 house payment, and they didn't even realize that $3,500 of that was going to interest. And I said, every day you don't use the system, you're paying that $3,500 per month out of your paycheck. That's a lot of money. I mean, people's got to change their mindset about what payments are doing. Payments are not just, oh, this is the way it has to be. No, it doesn't have to be that way. You have a choice. And velocity banking with lines of credit is absolutely beautiful. The software, without being able to have a line of credit, is absolutely beautiful. But when you combine those two and you put the line of credit with the automated system, it works even faster. It is amazing. And I know you're not there yet, but as soon as your credit score starts coming up, you're going to be able to move into a line of credit. I bet that you're not in debt 2.5 years because you're going to know then to use what I teach mixed with this software, and you're going to move very quickly.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking forward to when my credit's better to get loans and use them the way that you teach us. So yes, I'm definitely looking forward to that.
The lines of credit offer a bit of security in the event you fall on your elbow and break it. You have $1,500 available in credit to go ahead and get rid of that debt. And now you're just income and expenses out and working it back down.
Correct.
Lines of credit have probably been the most wonderful thing that has come into my life financially, because I don't know what I would have done in lots and lots of situations had I not had that line to lean on when I needed it, because life is going to happen. You are going to have things happen. Even in your situation now, like if you do have something come up that you need $2,000 and you take it and put it into the software now, right? So the software, even if you had to go get a loan because they wouldn't give you a line, you just enter it into the software and it recalculates and gives you a new payoff date, right?
It will, yes. It's very, very, very exciting. And what the representatives, the lovely representatives were telling me is that it kind of becomes a game, where you start seeing progress and you're like, oh, I have $5, let me put it in there. and then you start paying it off and then you're like, I'm not going to buy that stupid coffee. I'm going to put those $5 into the system. And so she says it becomes, a lot of the clients become, it becomes a game of how, hey, I can pay this off faster. I can do this. And that fills me up with joy because that's what I needed, Christy, and I can't thank you enough. I really, really, you are changing lives. You are serving God's purpose. I think that, like you said, the pain that we go through helps us so that we can, in turn, be relatable to other people in the future that we might meet. And we know what it feels like, and we were able to help. And I pray that someday He gives me a purpose like that to where I can help other people see the light,
your purpose
because
is in front of your face.
Yeah.
You're learning right now so that when you get out of debt and when you get into the line of credit and know how to revolve that and know how to work that to where it's just, second nature to you,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
are going to teach other people. And that's why our lives are touched with the pain that we endure, is so that we come up out of that, get
Yes.
up off the floor, dust off, and keep moving
Pick
forward.
yourself up.
And now we help people, that are in the same situation. And until we die, there's going to be people out there that need this information.
Oh yeah.
So that's all I do every day, is try to see how far I can push the information. And every single day, the comments on YouTube alone tell me that they're getting help, they're finding relief. And that to me is worth waking up for. So it is my pleasure to share the information that I share out there.
Thank you.
That's why it's completely free. Now, I have people that pay me to have the one-on-ones so that we can talk through situations such as you have here.
Yes.
But if you just watch the videos, there's enough information on there to help, most anyone get out of their debt. So I'm excited to do it. I'm excited. And I am just excited to hear the joy in your voice, because I was so hoping, I didn't know. I honestly didn't know when you went, if they were going to be able to work with you or not. But I think you got in touch with me, right? And you were like, oh my gosh, this is wonderful. And you told me how many years till you're out of debt. I could just tell by the tone of your email that you were so excited.
Isn't that amazing? You can even pick up somebody's tone on an email. I was just so excited after my meeting with them, my analysis, that I had to share it with you, and thank you for it, because I mean, to even if it does take 3 years, that's such a load off, because my daughter will graduate by then, and then the loans are going to hit. And prior to the system, I was like, what am I going to do when those loans hit? How am I going to get rid of this before those loans hit me? Exactly. And they're substantial because she's out of state.
Oh.
Yeah.
I think all the explanation points that you had.
Like I said, I can't thank you enough.
Like I said, it's totally my pleasure. But as for your daughter and yourself, when you get out of the mess here and you're already feeling the peace, when your daughter graduates and she's ready to buy a home, you know exactly what to do now to get her out of that home debt very quickly. Very quickly.
Yes, ma'am. And I've got all these tools that I can now teach her so she can manage her money wisely.
Right.
So
and hopefully never feel the pain. Yes.
Yeah. So yes, thank you for everything that you do, everything that you teach us, and for putting me together with these wonderful people. It's just amazing. I did wonder, how do they get paid? How much do they? I remember thinking as she was going through, because it does take work on their part, and I was like, I hope they're compensated nicely. But I just like you're wondering, I don't know how, but I hope they get compensated because this is life changing.
Yeah,
life changing.
It is. And I've wondered the same thing, because they don't just do one visit with you to tell you. They do 1, 2, 3, 4, how many ever you need to get comfortable in the system. It's amazing.
And they're available via text, via phone, whatever you need, they're available. And, like you said, the coaching is free. Like, even if you're not computer savvy, they're going to teach you. Right. The coaching is there.
There are no upsells. It's great.
And I see it as an investment, not a spend. It's an investment, definitely. Because I did the numbers, thanks to the videos that you do, I did the numbers on my monthly numbers. $1,500 a month just in interest. I make $1,700 per paycheck. I was like, how am I doing this? $1,500 just interest rates alone.
Per month.
Yeah, is what I was paying. So I'm looking forward to getting those $1,500 back and put them into the actual principal.
Right.
Or an emergency fund or whatever it is. It's just, the possibilities are endless, and I really breathe with relief today. Thanks to you and your team. Thank you.
Well, I am so glad to hear that. I am so glad that you're in better spirits. That was all I was going for, because I was like, oh my gosh. I was like, when we got done with our call, I was like, Lord, please, just let this work for her, because I knew that was your only shot at having a quick fix without going and getting another job, to start making extra money, whatever that meant. And
right.
I don't know. I'm just glad you're breathing today.
Thank you.
I know that your future is much brighter now. Do you
It
have, like
is.
I'm always telling people to write down their goals. Have you done that yet? Have you written that letter to yourself?
I was watching your video yesterday about that, and I call in my letters to God. I take time every day and I write, thank you, Lord, for this and that and the other every single day. So I do that. I thank him for the things that I have presently, and I
Right,
thank him for the things that I want.
right. And
Peace
he's
and
done provide.
health, freedom, all, you know, those are, I call them my little letters to God. But yes, I do have goals, and obviously they involve, you know, continuing to be able to take care of my daughter and watching her graduate. It's going to be amazing
Right.
when she does that, because that's, you know, all we want is for our kids to be well and be happy, and
Yes.
you know, get me somewhere to live that's nice, with my two dogs. They're my comfort right now that she's away at college, because I only have one daughter, and so they're my therapy dogs.
Well, I
um
think that going through the divorce is one thing, but when we're not
mhm.
able to provide for our children, that is a whole another larger pain. And so I
Yeah.
know what you're talking about because you keep bringing up your daughter, and that's
Hmm.
exactly even to this day, even though, uh, thank the Lord we have more than enough, and they're well. It's just like I still look to them.
So
What do you
yeah,
need? How can I
do
help?
you have
And
everything you need? Yeah.
yeah, and it's like that, I told, who was it? I told, my really good friend yesterday, she was talking about helping her daughter because she's got two very small children. And she was talking
Oh.
about helping her. And the daughter had had a bit of an attitude with her lately. And she
Hmm.
said, but I was over there helping her anyway. And I said, isn't that amazing, the love
Yeah.
that a parent has for a child, that even though you have problems, you're going to run when they need help.
we're
That's
we're always
amazing.
going to show up. I
Yep.
believe in always showing up for your kids,
Yep.
especially, and obviously your family too, but your kids especially. And she does know that. She's even said, well, she goes, I have one available parent.
Yeah, I say that
um,
too.
yeah.
Yeah.
And so
So,
she knows she's got, if she gets in trouble, she's got somebody to help
right,
her in any capacity that I can. No matter how old your kids are, we're always going to show up for them.
right. My
Cause she's,
oldest one will be 30 this year. She's going to be 30,
no.
and she's on her own. And, they get out, they do their thing. I remember I didn't want to be bothered either. I was like doing my life, and it's like I checked in when I felt like it or when I wanted to. But
Uh-huh.
it's like, I don't even care. I'm not mad at
Hmm.
all. It's like, I want you to go have a good life. I want you to make good decisions, but I want
Yeah.
you to have your successful life, whatever that means for you. And,
Right.
I'm here and they know it. So they
Yeah.
know they just have to pick up the phone, and whatever they need, I will go to them. Even though I flunked miserably as a parent when they were small at points, not the whole
Yeah.
time, but I
Yeah.
look back and I see things I could have done differently. But the fact is, here we are. Everybody's alive
Yeah.
and well, and
Hmm.
you just keep moving forward. And regardless, I mean, we're here. We're
Yeah.
here.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
exciting. That's an exciting part of
That's
life
amazing.
for
I
me.
can't believe you have a 30-year-old. You do not look like you have a 30-year-old
I
child.
have a thank you very much. You lie through your teeth, but thank you.
You do not look like you have a 30-year-old. I thought your kids were maybe in their early 20s.
Nope, I've got a 26-year-old. She'll be 27. They're both in December.
Wow.
27 and 30 in December, and then I have one getting ready to turn 14 next week. Well, I am so glad that you came on today and you just wanted to
Thank
share,
you.
what's been going on. I wanted you to share because I saw such a contrast between the first visit and this visit. And it
Yeah.
just, it's so fulfilling to me to see how people are getting the answers that they need, and it's life changing.
When you're in that place where it was, I can see, you know, there, you see in the movies head of households that commit suicide because they just don't
Right,
see a way out.
right.
And I think it happens to more people than we think. You really
Yeah.
don't see a way out, and I can see how you can fall into that dark pattern, especially if you don't have a faith to hold on to.
Life always gets better. You are
Yes.
going to have days that you feel like you cannot pick your head up off of the ground,
Yeah.
but you have to know it's going to get better. It takes time sometimes, getting
Yeah.
over an awful divorce or a death or whatever it
Yeah.
is. but you keep moving, you know, just shake it off and do the best you can and watch, because it unfolds into something more beautiful than you expected. And that's what I have seen my entire life, is that I've been through these deep, dark valleys of, I am never getting out of this. And then you start climbing up and you're back and you're like, wow, you know, that's, I never dreamed I would be here. Because everybody watching this video right now, if you have not been there in that slump to where you feel like there's no way out, it's coming. So you have to be prepared, because that's just part of life. Life's not fair. Stupid things happen to us. Very unfair things happen to us.
Correct.
And you just go through it and you're going to come out on the other side better. You know, if you make it through it, you're going to, if you will pull yourself up and get out, you can do it. I'm going to move into a bigger, better place. I mean, it's just a matter of time.
Yeah, because I have all of this, I will get to what I don't have. But sometimes, you know, when we're in a dark place, we just focus on the dark. When, I mean, there's so much to be grateful for.
I don't have anything to really give my first husband, but I don't have any feelings. That's what, you know, I'm telling my husband now. I don't have any hate. You know, and I get around people sometimes and they'll be talking about a marriage 40 years ago and the guy's been dead for 10 years. And they're still talking about, well, he did this and he did that. And I'm like, I don't even want to think of that stuff. It's over. I lived through it. I'm better today. I thank God for it. I'm alive. And, you know, I don't even care that, you know, I don't even think about it. I mean, I talk about it sometimes in these videos to let people know the struggle is real. Yeah. And I've had it. But to sit and dwell and think about, oh, he did this and, you know, he did that.
Every time you do that, you relive the bad experience. So
it's very much, it comes alive again when we let those memories pop up. And why do that? Why do that to yourself? That's horrible.
We're all getting into these situations or live through the situations. So thank you for having me. Thank you for the amazing opportunity. Thank you for everything that you give us as a community.
You're welcome.